All right. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. Now, Merino arrives at Arsenal, and as he arrives, Fabio Vieira has been shown the exit now out of the club of Arsenal, because we all know to it that it's really gonna be a very hard time for him to get into the starting 11 for the club of Arsenal. The player has been here for 2 seasons, and he hasn't gone ahead to get into the starting 11 of Arsenal. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name, and I hope you guys are really having fun. So continue to subscribe to this channel so as not miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And remember, we are powered by none other than Mono Gadgets. Mono Gadgets are dealers in brand new phones and laptops. They're also dealers in used phones and used phones and used laptops from UK, so you can call them on +256 70 99 88 665. That is Mono Gadgets for you. And every time you feel like there is anything you want concerning a brand new phone, a brand new laptop, a used phone, a used laptop, contact them and they'll be up to your rescue. And you can also follow them on TikTok. Mono Gadgets is the place to be. So as it stands right now, we're here to obviously bring you the latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned in here. And we're going to be talking Christensen is injured. What does that mean to the side of Barcelona, and where does it leave it in this market, as obviously it closes down and they've gone ahead obviously late one of the talented youngsters leave to go ahead and really play in another league on a permanent deal. And Kepa Azebalaga obviously has gone ahead to find himself a Premier League team where he's going to be playing at, because Chelsea looks like they don't need his services. Now, 200 likes on this video and it's second video of the day. Now, let's obviously start it off with David Austin. David Austin was the man to break the story that exclusive Porto agreed deal to resign Fabio Vieira on loan from Arsenal. Not in Arsenal squad for Aston Villa encounter, as FC Porto finalized move to bring midfielder back after 2022 sale. Merino arrival plus Nwaneri rise reduces minutes, and 24-year-old needs regular action. Now, we now know why this hasn't gone ahead to go to plan. It's because of the coming in of Mikel, Merino, and the player development of Nwaneri, and I think Lewis, you know. Lewis is another player that has come in through and really hit, that has gone ahead to come in through and hit this largely. And I tell you what, a lot is really going to be happening into the mix for the guy known as Fabio Vieira. And for Fabio Vieira, I really understand his situation, because after coming at the club and you've been here for 2 seasons, right? After coming at the club and you've been here for 2 seasons and you have failed to establish yourself into the team, then you have to find a space elsewhere. And his performances have been really blowing hot and cold. He has been lukewarm, you know. He has sometimes has been warm, sometimes has been cold. So he has been blowing hot and cold, and inconsistency is one of those that you'll ever come out and obviously remember about this guy. When you look at the Premier League, in his first season he played 22 games, scored 1 goal and put in 2 assists. In his second season he played 11, 1 goal and 2 assists. That is Fabio Vieira for you. In the UEFA Europa League, 3 games, 0 goals, 0 assists. FL Cup, 1 game. He has played 2 games and 1 assist. Community Shield, 1 game. You understand? He hasn't gone ahead, obviously, enjoy himself in there. And the other reason, he has proven to be an injury-prone player. When you go to his injury history, it is really very, very agitating for a player who has just gone ahead to come in through at Arsenal. And when you look at his side, you look at 2022, where is 2022? Because he came in through 2023, 2024, he had a foot injury that kept him out of 50 days and missed 5 games. And then he went ahead to undergo what we call a groin injury, missed out on 15 games. And it was very hard for him to come up and catch up with the already established players who were not really getting injured. By the way, the only way you can give yourself a chance in a team like that of Arsenal is to obviously keep fit. I remember very well when Arsenal was playing, I remember very well, there is a time where Fabio Vieira was even a starter in that team of Arsenal, you know? You remember that time when he came in through and it was like the prime Vieira, and he was really hitting all notes right on the pitch, and the manager was trusting him. But unfortunately, he went ahead to obviously find himself injured, and there is no reason as to why the manager could obviously keep him here. You understand? So the main reason is Arsenal have gone ahead to obviously find a solution, because they cannot really have a quality player whom they know can make things happen on the pitch, but he's not available every time he's really needed. It's better to replace him with a player who is really going to show up and really be available. That's why the coming in of Mikel Merino has gone ahead to obviously spark off the departure of Fabio Vieira. And I think this is in the good of Fabio Vieira, and I think it's really going to help him a lot in as a player. Now, even Fabrizio Romano has come out and really told us the following, that FC Porto agreed to sign Fabio Vieira on loan from Arsenal. Green light from player and his agent Mendes. Negotiations at final stages, as David Austin reported. Understand Porto will only proceed when Conceição leaves. Juventus pushing to sign Conceição. So the condition that has been set for the guy to leave the club of Arsenal is all about Conceição leaving, and Conceição is a very good player, and Juventus is pushing in for Conceição, and I know they are pushing in for Sancho, so I don't know which is really going to be which into this encounter. But as we speak, obviously negotiations are already at final stages, and they have to come up with a solution soon. But even if he doesn't go to FC Porto, that means he's really going to be put out on a loan. And I know if I were Fabio Vieira, I would have gone ahead to push to get what we call a Premier League loan. That is it, because he's a very good player. All he needs is to find an environment that will help him really suit better and play in the Premier League. And there are teams that can help Fabio Vieira really reignite his career in the Premier League, you know. And we look at teams like Newcastle, I think they can really afford this loan. Teams like Tottenham Hotspur, though Arsenal cannot loan to Tottenham. Teams like Fulham, you understand, Arsenal can really do some good business with them. I think it has been a very panicky decision made by Fabio Vieira. I don't think that it was good for him to go back to FC Porto. For me, if I'm Fabio Vieira, I don't do that. All I do is I rather go to Spain, or I stay in the Premier League. There are very many teams in the Premier League that can do the needful, and I think his agent hasn't gone ahead to do him justice as a player. The player needed to stay in the Premier League. By him making a decision to go back to FC Porto, he's sending us signals that he has failed to catch up with the Premier League. That is it. You know, he has failed to catch up with the Premier League. I believe teams like Wolverhampton Wanderers can do a very good job onto the player, because they are having a very good hub of Portuguese players, right? And those Portuguese players are really good. You understand? So if you want him to really get well, get him to Wolverhampton Wanderers, you know, even and I think the manager of Bournemouth is a friend to Mikel Arteta. I think Fabio Vieira can be given a chance to play, and that shows you that even Arsenal is not interested in really having Fabio Vieira back in the squad, because they've gone ahead to give on him totally. That is it, because you can't tell me that a player is that good and you have him in your plans and let him go back to Portugal. I think the best thing is put him in the Premier League, let him get used to the physicality, and even if you don't really sell him, if he goes to Wolverhampton Wanderers and really thrives as a player, teams will come in through, and obviously Arsenal will sell him like for £40 million, and they obviously make some profit from the £35 million they bought him from the side of FC Porto. So I understand he's one of those players that has always gone ahead to be looked as a replacement of Bernardo Silva, and Man City we are really looking at the player, and Arsenal went ahead to obviously getting the player. So he hasn't gone ahead to do justice to himself. That is it. He would have gone ahead to fight and his agent to stay in the Premier League and really get what we call a Premier League loan. It would have gone ahead to serve a better purpose for him as a player, and he would have gone ahead to obviously sit down Arsenal and tell them that, please, let me stay in the Premier League. I know I can get a team that can get me to the starting 11. You know, my agent can find one. Then later, you people will come up and obviously get me either a permanent sale to the Premier League team where you guys will make a profit, or else you obviously retain me into the Arsenal side, you know, because next season Arsenal might lose 2 midfielders, that is Thomas Partey and a player known as Jorginho. Those two might be leaving, and Arsenal will need to bring in 1 or 2 midfielders. So, but the coming in of Merino doesn't leave him with space, because I tell you, we are going to see some huge competition in that midfield of Arsenal. I believe that Merino is going to be a starter. I tell you this. I see Merino as a starter, and that midfield is going to be having Declan Rice, Merino, and Martin Odegaard. That is it. You get? So, I think even Thomas Partey is really going to find it hard to get into that Arsenal team. Why? Merino has come in, has another midfielder that has attributes that no Arsenal player has. And Arteta wants to get him to the team immediately. So, that's what we are really getting in for this guy. He is going to have to leave the club of. He's going to be leaving the club of Arsenal, even if his loan transfer to FC Porto doesn't materialize. I tell you, Arsenal has going to have to make up their decision that he has to leave the club of Arsenal with immediate effect. That's what you're getting in through from the man himself, known as Fabio Vieira. Now, let's obviously get to Barcelona a little bit. And they've gone ahead to find themselves with a central defender injured. Goes by the names of Andreas Christensen, is injured and will be out for 2 months. Remember, they signed him from Chelsea on a free. And they're really having a very hard time, by the way, to obviously catch up with the current situation of the injury they're really having. And I think it wouldn't have gone ahead to be into the favor of Hans Flick to obviously see this man really get injured. You get? And he has found himself injured. And I think now they're left with Kubasi, right? Arojo, right? In there for you. And then let me check the central defense they're really having. There is Kubasi, there is Arojo, there is Ingo Martinez, there is Lenglet, there is Conde, right? And Eric Garcia. You get? So, we are waiting to see how they're really going to form up their team, but it shows you that they can obviously do the needful. So, fit defenders are variable. I think they're really going to start. They're really going to be playing the game. They're going to be playing on the weekend. Kubasi, Arojo, Lenglet, you know, and for Lenglet, this might hold up his loan, because a team called, there is a certain team in the La Liga that had gone ahead obviously come to an agreement to sign Lenglet, but with this injury, and we don't know how far he's really going to be out for, has obviously sparked off something different, and that something different should result into getting this player staying at the side of Barcelona. So we wait and see how everything is going to pan out, but they've gone ahead obviously getting that injury, the side of Barcelona, and they're really having a very different spell altogether. But they're really looking good as a side, and they've just gone ahead to let Ilkay Gundogan go to Man City, and today Ilkay Gundogan has gone ahead to be unveiled as a player of Man City, and Pep Guardiola has welcomed him back because he never wanted him to go, but he's back like never before. So that is Christensen for you, and let's go to the Chelsea goalkeeper known as Kepa Arrizabalaga. By the way, in history, I don't think there is a player or a goalkeeper that has ever gone ahead to be bought for the amount of money Chelsea went ahead to buy for Kepa Arrizabalaga. They bought him hugely. That is it. They bought him for huge fees, and guess what? All really had to go to that level. And now we have an exclusive in here, and it's coming in through from David Austin about Kepa Arrizabalaga. That exclusive, Bournemouth working on deal to sign Kepa Arrizabalaga on loan from Chelsea. Bournemouth in talks with Chelsea, 29-year-old, right? Top target, but options include Ramsdale and also interest from other clubs. Contract 2025, so would need extension before move. So This goalkeeper is left with just 1 year on his contract. And I'm like, why isn't Chelsea really selling this goalkeeper? He was at Real Madrid and he did a good job, but where Lunin came in through to obviously overtake this guy, God knows. So, as it stands, the player is not really wanted at Chelsea, and they're trying to obviously offer him to Bournemouth. And I believe Chelsea should accept the loss. Chelsea should come up and obviously accept the loss that we bought him expensively, and his contract is coming to an end in his contract is coming to an end very soon. That is the summer of 2025. They should do the due diligence. All else, they let him go on a free. You understand? And they can sign an obligation. They can sign a contract, an obligation to buy, and they agree on the amount of money. They can obviously cough out for this signing. But I tell you what, a lot is still going on at Chelsea, and they're really having a very bloated squad. 43 players, senior players into that squad, and they have to trim it to get off like 12 players have to leave Chelsea. I tell you, such that at least they have like 30 players. At least for that, the manager can really jiggle around with that. But as we speak right now, they have to do the due diligence and the needful to see that everything really comes to pass. So that's what we got from the story that we're going to have to really do as the second story of the day. And we want you guys to let us know about Merino, Merino arriving. Fabio Vieira leaves on loan. What do you make about it? And what do you make about Kepa? What is the best decision that can come out, that can convince, or that can act as a common ground for these two sides? Kepa and Chelsea. And lastly, Andreas Christensen is injured. What do you make about the injury situation at Barcelona in their central defense? So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Rokani David is my name. I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below about everything we've gone here to talk about. And we are powered by Mono Gadgets, dealers in phones, laptops that are really brand new. And also, they are suppliers in used phones and used laptops from the United Kingdom. That is Mono Gadgets for you. And you can call them on +256 70 99 88 665 and WhatsApp them on the same number. Also, search for them on TikTok and follow them up. Mono Gadgets is the place to be. Rokani David signs out as he covers you in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. The Muslims, Barakallahu fikum, and good night. But we are still working, and we're having and bringing you more and more content.